Hi everyone. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to implement ability targeting and how to set up so that the user can cancel targeting or they can also confirm it, and how they can use it to target multiple pawns or just a singular character. I'll also show how to make your own custom world reticle so you can see who you're targeting, and you can still cancel your targeting or you can confirm to have perfect accuracy. Ability targeting is great for determining who is the unlucky recipient of your ability or who you're going to heal. In this tutorial, I'll mostly cover how to confirm or cancel and how to set up that input so that you can confirm or cancel a targeting. It's a bit different here with the enhanced input and compared to the enum that used to be in place in the past. As usual, let's just start by navigating to the shooter gym. So we have our test environment, and let's just make sure that the AI can't target us or attack us, so we'll have a better time. Okay, so that is under Edit, Editor, Preferences, Lyra Developer Settings, and then just uncheck this Allow Player Bots to Attack. Let's start by adding a new ability. So to find where to place your ability, let's just go ahead and just open up the world setting tabs and go to the gameplay experience. And this way we'll be more able to find out all the information and where everything is hooked in. Let's just open up our hero data shooter game. And then we see your abilities, or ability sets is ability set shooter hero. So yeah, let's just take an example. We'll just open up the grenade one and just navigate to that asset. And you'll notice that it's under shooter core input abilities. So let's actually create our new ability right here. So right click, new blueprint class, and then you can choose the Lyra gameplay ability. Let's call this one gameplay ability targeting ability. Okay, and open it up. And we'll just set it to replicate. To make sure that this ability is working or hooked up, we'll just print this targeting ability activated. Okay, and then let's hook it up in the ability set to an input. So let's add it to the ability sets hero shooter heroes abilities. So right here, GA targeting ability, and then we actually need to give it an input tag. So for example, the grenade is input tag weapon grenade. The input tag for melee is ability melee. So we're actually going to create one just input tag ability, and then let's just call this one just targeting. Or you could call it, if your ability is called like ground smash or anything, you could call it that also. Actually, let's just call this one, let's give this one a certain name because targeting is a bit vague. So I guess targeting arrow. Okay. Okay, so now the player will have the ability to call this targeting ability. So now we just need to set up the input. So to do that, you actually have to go, oh, let's actually see how Melee's input tag is set up. So search for references, and then you can see that it's under the input data shooter game add-ons. So let's just do that. Okay, so added to the input data shooter game add-ons. And okay, we will also need to create a new input action. So again, let's just take an example of the grenade. So the input actions is under shooter core input actions. Okay, so let's create a new input action. And I'll call this one input action targeting arrow. Okay, and then now we can actually use this input action in our context. So let's just go back, input data shooter game, and then it's IA targeting arrow. Okay, so this input action will be bound to whatever input tag we put here. So let's just choose our input tag that we just added. So it's under its input tag ability, and then it was just called targeting arrow. So the last step to get input working for this ability is to actually add this to an input mapping context so we can map the key that we want to the action. So to find where that input mapping context is in the context of the shooter core, let's again just take advantage of the examples and just see the references of the input action for the grenade. So now you see that the two input mapping context are these two here. So let's just go ahead and open these up. So the gamepad, and let me open the other one also. Oh, okay. So in the gamepad, let's add a mapping. So input action, and then it was targeting arrow. And for the gamepad, let's actually bind it to, I guess a lot of the buttons are already used. I'm gonna actually use the face up button because I think that one's not used. So you can actually click that, and then you can actually press the button on the gamepad itself, and it will select it for you, which is very nice. Or you can go, oh, oh boy, okay. Or you can just go and scroll into whatever's available. Okay, and then the keyboard one, I'm going to use the Y key if it's not used already. So let me just add that. Input action, targeting, arrow, and then the Y key. And let's test out if this works. So if this is all set up well, whenever we press the Y key or the face left or face up button, it should just show a message on the screen that the ability has been pressed. So let's just play. Okay, so if I press the Y button, you can see that the message targeting ability activated shows up at the top. And then it never shows up again because I actually did not end the ability. Go ahead and navigate to your targeting ability, and then after you print this string, let's just go ahead and end the ability. Another thing I'd like for this ability is I would like to change the camera mode, and Lyra has a really great way of handling camera modes for ability. There's actually a camera mode per ability, so you can activate it and then end it on end ability. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So on event activate ability, I'm gonna search for camera mode. Ah, there it is. So it is the set camera mode. And I'm actually gonna use the death camera mode because it's a bit further and you can see more where you're trying to target. But we could also choose the aim down sights and whatever is accessible from our shooter core plugin. So I'm just going to choose this one. Let's save. And then on the end ability, let's clear the camera mode. So then when that clears, it'll just go back to the default pawn camera mode that's set in your pawn data. Okay, let's try this again. And oh, let's also add a delay or else we won't even notice that there was a change in the camera. So let's say 2 seconds. Okay, and then let's play. I'll press Oh, my shaders are still compiling. I'll press the Y key, and as you can see, the camera mode is way further, which is nice. But you'll also see that a lot of stuff I do cancels out this ability. So that's the last puzzle of our initial ability setup. We're just going to set some tag relationships. So that information and overall management of what blocks what is actually in your hero data shooter. You'll see this tag relationship mapping that actually defines all that stuff. So here you can see that whenever you're using the grenade action or the grenade ability, you'll see that it will block the emote or the reload or the weapon fire, and it will also cancel these action or the abilities that have these tags, so that when or if you're using an ability that has uh, that owns this tag emote, which is actually the gameplay ability emote, then that would mean that whenever you're using your emote ability and you actually throw a grenade, it will cancel your emote gameplay ability. So let's add a new ability tag relationship. And we will actually need to create a new ability tag. So let's call this one ability type action, and then we'll just call it targeting arrow. Okay, so go ahead and navigate to ability type action. So ability type action, and then we'll just call this one targeting arrow, because that's the name of our ability we created. And okay, so whenever this happens, so what we want to do is we kind of want to block the same ones that the grenade do. So I'm just going to right click, copy, paste. Okay. And then same with the action, emote, and reload. So, well, pretty much just the same behavior. So paste. Another tag we want to block is also aim down sights, because our ability already has a camera mode. So if you right click, it will just cancel out the ability and just enter the aim down sights. So add that one to the 2. Save. And when we play, we'll notice that the aim down sight still cancels it. That's because we haven't actually added the ability tag to the ability itself. So let's go ahead and make this ability be the owner of this tag. So open up a gameplay ability targeting ability, and then in your class defaults, you can go under the tag section and then the ability tags. Let's add the arrow targeting, or targeting arrow. So that would be ability type action targeting arrow. Okay, so now when we play, if everything went well, there you go. You can't aim down sights anymore, and you also can't fire. And yeah, we're ready to set up our targeting. First of all, let's get this ability ready for the targeting, so that whenever it goes in, it waits for the user to confirm or to cancel their targeting. That ability task is called wait target data. And this has a bunch of different classes. It basically allows you to set the ability target so that whenever you apply like an effect or anything, you'll have access to that actor, and you'll have that target data like the location, who it is, are they on your team, etc. And then while you wait for your target data, you can uh, either say, okay, it's instant. So let's say it's a radius, then that would be instant. Like you'd have like your radius like 500, and then you'd get whatever's in your radius. You could filter by class. You could say where the start location is, usually is where your actor is, and then you get like an instant data whenever this ability runs. But in our case, we want to make sure the user can confirm or cancel before the target data is set. So in our case, it will be user confirmed, and then we're actually for the purpose of this first part of this video, we're actually gonna just use a single line trace, so the user can actually look at what they want to target, and you'll be able to see the reticle of what they're looking at. But for now, there's no way to confirm because we haven't set what our confirm key is and what our cancel input is. Let's go ahead and define in code what is the input for canceling and what's the input for confirming an ability targeting. Go ahead and open up your Visual Studio or your writer in my case. Okay, and let's create a new tag for our input. And to do that, let's navigate to the Lyra gameplay tags. As you can see, there's already tags for very basic movement and crouch and just native input you'd get from the code. So let's just add our own tags. So f gameplay tag, and I'll call these two input tag confirm and gameplay tag input tag cancel. And let's define those in the C++. So let's just find where this one is. Add all tags. Okay. And then let's paste the code I've also given in my GitHub repo. So essentially we are just setting that the input tag confirm is this tag here. And this is the input tag that we will bind to our input action. And that input action in turn will have a definition of what input triggers it. So we have our input tag for confirm targeting and cancel targeting. Let's navigate to the Lyra hero component, which is where the input is set up. So it's under the initialize player input. So Lyra hero component, initialize player input, and the Lyra component is inside the character folder. And then right after we set up the basic native functions for auto running, crouching, and all that, let's just paste the code I am going to be posting on this video. So essentially, if you have a Lyra ability system component, then just bind to the local input confirm and cancel. So yeah, in the past, how this used to be set up was it was setting up an input bind along in enum. And now that we have, that we're using tags, we can set it up nicer. So it used to be like, if you want to search into that, it used to just be ability systems components bind ability activation to input component. And then you'd pretty much set the input name, like cancel or confirm. And then that used to be without the enhanced input system. So this is the way I found that it would work quite well. Don't be shy if you find another way to bind this. Just post in the comments. All right, so we are done with code. Let's just stop and rerun. And then we will define exactly what key those input actions are. Back in the editor, let's just navigate to our shooter gem again. And let's find where the native or default input action mappings are set. So I'm just going to search for all input action underscore. Let's see where the crouch is, or let's just show in folder view. Okay, so let's actually add our input our new input actions in here. So right click, input action, IA. Let's call this one cancel targeting. Cancel targeting. And then I'll save this. And what I actually want to set it as, I want it to trigger when the user releases the button. So in this way, it might not trigger like shooting or something. So let's add a trigger and then released. So yeah, let's just duplicate this, and this one we will call it confirm targeting. Okay. Oh, one, we don't need the one. And let's see where the crouch is set, or where their input mapping context is set. So let's see the reference viewer. It is used, there you go, in the default gamepad and the default keyboard mapping. Okay, so let's just add a new mapping for cancel and confirm. So cancel targeting, confirm targeting. And this is a gamepad. So I will go ahead and press on my gamepad. So I click here. And in cancel, I'll just use the B button on Xbox controllers. So the face button right. And then for the confirm targeting, I will use the face bottom bottom. The face bottom button. Okay. And then for the keyboard and mouse, I will open that up. And let's do the same thing. Put action, confirm targeting. And then this one, I will choose the left mouse button. And then the cancel targeting, I will use the right mouse button. That one always opens up the right, the contextual menu, but it actually does set it, which is nice. Okay, let's see if this actually works. So let's go ahead and reopen our new gameplay ability. I will just search for it. GA, I think it was called targeting arrow. Ah yeah, targeting ability. Okay. And let's just have a print string for whenever there is valid data and then whenever you canceled the ability. So in our case, it's you would right click. So ability was canceled with right click. And then if you have valid data, ability was canceled. Ability was confirmed. Or ability targeting was confirmed. Okay. And then both of them, let's just add the ability when that happens. And we can totally delete this because it will wait for a left or right click before ending the ability in either case. And let's see if that works. So I play. Okay, and then I trigger the ability with Y. And then if I right click, nothing happens. If I left click, nothing happens. So this is because we actually have to add the connection of the tag with the input action. So let's cycle back. Let's just go and find the, let's say the crouch input action. Let's see where that one is set with the tag. Okay, so it's actually set in the input data hero. So whenever you're unsure about where to place things, it's very good to use the reference viewer and see how everything is hooked up. So the input data hero, you can see it has the native input actions, which is what we saw in the code. And then it just pretty much like hooks up the input action to the tag that we also created in the code, which calls a function to confirm or cancel the targeting. So let's add both the cancel targeting and the confirm targeting and add the respective tag. Okay, so for cancel targeting, it was right here. So this is kind of the link of like, it's a link that will make your inputs work. So this was confirm. That's right. Okay, now it should work. So you play, press Y to start. If you left click, it confirms it. So if you right click, you'll notice that it doesn't work because the aim down sight input action is actually consuming the input and not allowing anything else to be read for the right click. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to navigate to the input action aim down sights. So I'm just going to search ADS. And then you can see that it consumes the input. So we will unstick that. And now when we play, we should be able to cancel. And as you can see, it says ability was canceled with right click. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we will add a reticle so we can see who we are targeting with this ability. And then we will do something with that target. Like we will just apply some damage. Okay, open up your gameplay ability. And let's set up some things for the target data. So this, let's turn on debugging. Let's create a filter. So we can make a filter handle and then drag this off and then make a gameplay target data filter. And in our case, we just want to target some Lyra characters. So I will add this here. And then our start location, you can make a target location info from the owner actor. So just drag this off to here and this will make a target location info from the owner actor. So it will start where your position is. And let's actually create a new reticle class so we can actually set what it looks like. Like in The Sims, when they have the diamond on top of their heads, you could have the same kind of thing, or you could use a billboard. So this is actually a gameplay ability world reticle, or you can use a world reticle actor visualization. But those are both of them are meant for you to create blueprints out of them. So I will just use this one because I don't need to have like spawn an actor. Like I'm okay with just spawning this reticle itself. So this is a gameplay ability world reticle. Let's navigate to our gameplay ability and let's create a reticle. Or I guess we could create a new folder just to make it more organized. And let's create a new gameplay ability world reticle. So right click, blueprint class, and then all classes. And then let's just search for world reticle. Ah, there you go. So we're going to make a new gameplay ability world reticle. So B underscore world ability targeting world reticle. And then this one we'll just call it arrow targeting. But you could have as many different reticles as you want. It could be the same generic one for any ability that targets something. And yeah, let's just go ahead and create a sphere. And I'll make it green. So I'm just gonna find, yeah, basic acid should be fine. And I'm just gonna squish it. So it kind of looks like The Sims, but it just isn't. Okay. So this will go on your target. So I'm just gonna put it a little bit higher so it'll be on top of the enemy. Okay. And then let's use this new blueprint we created as our new reticle. Okay. Ah, that was strange. Okay, and then our trace profile is no collision, but let's just use, what is it? Let's just use pawn. So it will do one line trace and it will trace for pawn. And it will only find the Lyra characters. Okay. So let's play. And then when you press Y, you'll see that it goes on top of their heads, as you see. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't exactly snap to the actor. There's actually a setting for that, so it looks nicer and cleaner. So in your ability targeting, arrow targeting, in the class defaults, you can choose to snap to targeted actor. So then it will just snap to them and it will just follow them. And you don't, I mean, you could use, it's meant to be used as like a targeting or a reticle. So you could use a billboard, and I think that's why the face owner flat is there. So yeah, it'll always face you. So okay, so with this new one, you can see that it just snaps to them. Navigate back to your gameplay ability. And then when we have valid data, we can just we can use the data directly to apply gameplay effects. So there's one gameplay task node that's just called apply gameplay effect to target. So we can just click that and it will apply a gameplay effect to whatever target data there was. Okay, so, oh, and let's make sure to hook that up, not right after here, but when you have valid data. So hook this up, unhook this here, and I'm actually going to apply as though it was a melee hit, so pretty much an instant kill. So this was the melee damage. So it's pretty much from this owner to the target. So it shouldn't technically hurt your friends, even though you can target them. Let's try this out. And let's not forget to end your ability, or else this ability will never end. Okay, let's play, and then press Y, and then when you shoot the enemy, yeah, they pretty much die. And when you shoot your friend, it doesn't do anything because the damage execution determined that you were on the same team. So you can aim and you can cancel the ability and then nothing will happen. And canceling an ability would be good because maybe you can not commit the ability and not lose on your cooldowns or your cost. So just like any game, like you like, instead of like confirming an ability, you want to back out, then you just right click or you press the face right button. The next session of this video, we will be essentially using the same ability, but instead of doing a single line trace in a single target, we will do a AoE attack that targets the ground. So let's just unhook this weight target data. You could also do this in a new ability, but I figured everything's already set up. We might as well just use this one. So I will go ahead and duplicate this weight target data. But this time we will use our own blueprint, target actor. So we want to inherit from the gameplay ability target actor ground trace. So what this will do, you'll basically do a ground trace wherever your player is looking at. All right. So I'll create a new blueprint under abilities targeting, and it's blueprint class, and then search for ground trace. Okay, so let's just make a new blueprint out of gameplay ability target actor ground trace. I'll call this one B underscore. Oh, that was strange. Okay, B underscore targeting actor ground trace, and this one, I'll call maybe like ground bash or generic. I think I'll just call it generic because it'll just be a circle pretty much. Okay, and then I can drag this in, or maybe not. I will choose it from here. So targeting actor ground trace generic. And so this target actor, it will pretty much just be a decal, or it will pretty much just use a decal component. So let's go ahead and add a component decal. Let's rotate it 90 degrees because it's not facing the right way. Okay. And let's create our own decal material. There doesn't seem to be a circle decal, for example, in this one. So I just figured let's just create our own. Okay, I'll call, well, let's first create it. So material, m underscore targeting decal. Okay, and then this one needs to be in the deferred decal material domain. And then it'll give you a warning because you need it to be translucent. Apply. Okay. And we'll just use a texture sample. I found a texture sample that's already in the game, and it's actually called default overlay circles. Just to see, let's plug this in. So the alpha will be in the opacity, and the RGB will be in the base color. So this is what it looks like. So to get it to be all white so we can actually multiply to get a color, we'll need to use the 1 minus node. So just drag this out, 1 minus. And then, okay, so now you'll have a white circle. So you see it's white now. And let's multiply it by a color or color parameter. So let's just create a vector 4. So if you press 4 and click, and let's convert this to a parameter because we could use a material instance and set the color. And I will set mine to a blue. I feel like a lot of ability targeting has this like light, vibrant blue. It's not very vibrant. Let's do this. Okay, so multiply and then base color. So yeah, now we have this nice light blue. And to make it more apparent on the floor or wherever we want to see it, let's have it have an emissive color. So I will just grab this and multiply it by 20. It might be a bit too much, but let's see. Okay, so now our material is ready. So let's use it on this decal. So decal material will be this one. Compile, save, and yeah, let's see what it looks like in the game. And on the side note, so the decal size is 256 by 256, which means that it does have the radius of 256. So yeah, let's see what that looks like. Or first of all, let's hook it up. So go to your gameplay ability and connect it over here. And this time we will do a block all because we want the floor. It would be even better if you had like a trace channel for just the ground. And then the start location is the same. And actually even well, you won't filter the actors this time around because you're just trying to get a location on the floor and then you do some logic for what location you got. So let's show the debug for that one too. Oh yeah, I guess we don't really need the debug for those because we will see the actual decal on the floor. And then let's do kind of the same logic, except not apply damage. So right here, it was canceled. And then let's just end the ability. Okay, so to double check, this is what we have. It's just our new actor ground trace generic class that we just created. One interesting thing to note is there is collision radius and height. I tried to use it to get a group of actors in a certain space, but it's a bit strange that the shape is above the ground, so it's not very useful. But yeah, if anyone has comments about that, please comment, and yeah, let's help each other out. Okay, so yeah, when you play, now when you press Y, you'll see this nice aiming reticle, or not reticle, this nice aiming actor or targeting actor. Yeah, so our next step, let's make it do some damage or and play a gameplay cue. All right, this is where we start to actually use the location or the more detailed, more of the details of the targeting data that we get. Okay, so let's go and first of all, whenever we have valid data after the user confirms their targeting, we want to see if the target data has a hit result. So you can actually just call target data has hit result. And so if they have a hit result, let's go ahead and do a sphere overlap actors to grab all the actors in the radius, and then let's apply a gameplay effect to them. So if it's true, yeah, let's hook this in, and then sphere overlap actors, and then the position will be the hit. Where is it? Get hit result from target data, and then you break the hit results, and so from your hit results, so like wherever the ground was hit, you'll get the location. So the sphere position will be on the floor, and then the sphere radius, let's make it the same radius than the decal so it matches up. So 256. And then the actor class filter will be the Lyra character. And yeah, we do need an object type. So let's just create an array, make an array, and we'll search for pawn. Okay. And then out of the out actor, what's cool is you can actually create a target data as an array. So you can target, so you can create ability target data from actor array. And then I haven't explored this one yet, but then you can actually apply a gameplay effect to target, and this will apply it to all of them. Okay, and then we actually want to do the same thing. So the melee gameplay effect, and yeah, let's see what that does, and let's make sure to end our ability if we don't have any valid data, or if the target hit didn't get hit, and also after we apply the damage. And let's see it in play. So our enemy's here. Cool. And let's actually play a gameplay cue. Honestly, we could do whatever we want once we have a target or a location or a bunch of targets. But in our case, we're gonna just play the gameplay cue for healing because it's the only one that kind of looks like it has a radius. But we could always create a new gameplay cue or actors. Okay, so let's actually play this right after the sphere overlap actor. So you can call execute gameplay queue with params because we do want to set the location of the gameplay queue. And then the gameplay queue parameters, let's just make uh, let's make a gameplay queue parameter from hit result. So our hit result is right here. Or no, our hit result is right here. And yeah. And then our gameplay queue tag is the healing one. So if you want to see what that looks like, let's just navigate, search for references, and it's right here. It's the gameplay queue notify character heal. Oh boy, I have too many windows open. Let's open that up. And it plays a sound, and it plays the burst effect. So it plays the heal nitro system. So you can preview it in here. So that's what it will look like. Okay. Oh boy, too many things open. Yeah, so this is all hooked up. Let's try and see what it looks like. Okay. And maybe the healing has like a 90-degree offset or something for the rotation. So let's just make a gameplay queue parameter, and it's pretty extensive. So we can actually use the location from the break hit result that we had over here. And then the normal should be fine. I'd assume Z up. Okay. And let's test with this. The same thing. Okay. As soon as I just change it back to 0, it was okay, which is interesting. So there you go. I just set the normal to 0, so everything to default and just the location. And now when I use it, it goes up. So there you have it. Now you have a way to have targeting in your abilities, and you can use it in an endless amount of varieties. You can use it to find a location on the floor to throw a projectile at. You can use it to just determine a specific targets and see who it is. Yeah, you can do like you can have the user confirm, cancel any ability, or you could have it be instant. Yeah, the sky's the limit. So I hope you enjoyed, and till the next one.